In a world filled with screens and distractions, we invite you to reconnect with the natural world around you. Welcome to Nature Bound, a podcast dedicated to unpacking the intrinsic bond between humans and nature. We'll uncover the benefits of spending time outdoors, including how a nature-centric lifestyle can improve your mental health, elevate your leadership skills, and unleash your creativity. And now here's your host, outdoor enthusiast, and renowned author of The 7 Principles of the Magic Rock, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to Nature Bound, where we explore outdoors and the incredible stories that arise from it. I'm Emanuel Rose, and today's guest is Sawyer Deroche, a registered Maine guide with a wealth of experience in fishing and recreation. Sawyer has spent years guiding trips throughout the beautiful landscapes of Maine, leveraging his lifelong passion for canoeing and fly fishing. He aims to cultivate a vibrant fly fishing community in central Maine, specifically in Waterville. Today, we'll delve into Sawyer's journey, the intricacies of guiding in Maine, and his vision for the future of outdoor recreation in that area. Sawyer, thanks so much for taking some time to chat with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So, explain a little bit about how you became a fly fisherman and a canoeist, and where that all came from.
Sure. Yeah. So my dad is still a guide. He doesn't guide anymore because he's just works full time actually for the state in Works and Lands fitting.
Okay.
But when I was growing up, when I was a kid, he was running Allagash canoe trips. We have a waterway here in Maine called the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. It's 92 miles of water, and
wow.
Anyway, so you would do 5-day trips or 7-day trips or sometimes 10-day trips, and I grew up with a paddle in my hand, basically. So there was that. I didn't have much of a choice. And on top of that,
yeah.
He was also a fishing and a hunting guide as well. So he was doing it all, and I was thrust into that world at a very young age, and I'm very grateful. And as I got older, it became more my own. I never envisioned myself becoming a guide. I didn't ever think I think sometimes people are like, I'm never going to do what my dad does. But
right.
Yeah, I kind of got into it and officially got my Maine guide license about a year ago now. Before that, did a lot of trips, but in Maine, there's a very intense, I would say, testing process that you have to go through, which is different from Maine and Alaska. I believe have the most intense testing. So,
all right. Well, tell me a little bit about what is the Maine fishing guide test like.
So Maine breaks it up into 3 sections. You have recreation, hunting, and fishing. And depending on what you want to do, you will go to Maine Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, and a panel of guys, usually ex-game wardens, sometimes current game wardens, ex-guides, will essentially grill you on laws and different things for an hour. There is a written portion as well. So you do the written, you do the oral, and the big one that gets a lot of people that there is a lot of discussion about is the map and compass section. They make you,
wow.
They don't make you triangulate, but they make you, you have to look at the map and be able to tell them where you are and how many miles you are from point B and which way you would go and how you would get there and what the fastest route is. And I won't go too much into it because it's
it sounds intense, but it also sounds pretty valuable, right? Like you want to know that you got guys that could do some basic activities.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's that. And but so I should say this too. I worked at a camp called Kie Wavis Education, which it's very well known all throughout the country. It's one of the largest wilderness tripping camps for teenagers in the country.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I did that for 3 summers, and I led a bunch of trips with something called a trip leader permit, which is not the same thing as a Maine guides, but it's a way around all of these, college age kids having to take their Maine guides license and still be
Oh, gotcha.
legally allowed to go out into the woods and lead kids and go on canoe trips.
That's cool. So, I mean, I've never been out there, so I'm just looking at, I was doing some research, looking at the map. I'm like, you guys got a lot of space up in the north part of Maine where there's it doesn't look like there's roads, a lot of main roads at least,
Yeah.
and some space. So, is that part of where you're going? Is up there in that northern part, just below Canada?
Yeah, so probably what you're looking at is it's a rustic county. It's called. We actually in Maine we all call it the county.
Yeah.
Um, the county they grow a bunch of potatoes up there, so that's a little farther north.
Okay.
A lot the Allagash is in Piscataquis County partly, and it's in some it kind of juts in and out. But yeah, a lot of northern Maine. I'm actually more. If you were to look at the map of Maine, I'm more in southern Maine. I'm in the Waterville area.
Yeah. So
So
that's that.
yeah,
Kennebec, is that the river you're mostly
yeah,
on?
the Kennebec River actually it's right outside my window here. That's my home
Awesome.
river, I would call it. Yeah.
That's cool. And then that dumps right into the ocean, or does it get trapped by a lake?
Does. Yes, it does. So it presents us Mainers with an incredibly unique opportunity. I think when people think of Maine and they're fishy people, they often think brook trout because we have
Yep.
one of the highest populations of native brook trout in the country. And we do have amazing fisheries for trout. We have browns, rainbows, brookies. We also have a lot of splake. We have some incredible lake trout fishing. We have landlocked Atlantic salmon. So all of that's true. But
Nice.
you're very right on in saying that the Kennebec does go right to the ocean, to Bath.
Yeah.
So from Bath to Waterville is the first falls. There's no dams from, basically my hometown all the way to the ocean. So we get these migratory fish. We get striped bass. We get American shad. We get river herring, blueback herring, and outriver alewives. And we get huge Atlantic sturgeon. We get these 7-foot sturgeon coming up into the rivers. And it's there are not a lot of places, Emanuel, where you can go and catch a brook trout and then drive an hour and a half south and go catch a striper. It's like that is an incredibly unique fishery. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, it's cool that you got some anadromous fish too.
Yes.
The shad. How big did the shad get out there?
Yeah, so I love taking people shad fishing. It's one of my favorite things, but they are all pretty much between 18 inches and a big one would be 24, 25 inches. Probably the biggest one I've caught was probably close to 24, 25.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we have them out here on this coast too, and mostly fish for them near the Columbia River.
Okay,
and we throw those darts at them. And,
oh yeah,
and heavy sinking lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fun. Did you ever read that book by John McPhee called The Founding Fish?
Founding Fish, you're right. I've read excerpts from it. I haven't read it, which I really should, so that I'm more knowledgeable in what I'm guiding people on. But yeah, I should do that though. I really should. I've heard
it's not that you would enjoy it. You shouldn't do it because you should. You should just read it because you will enjoy it, especially the opening story. Tells this great story about hooking a shad and what he thought was going to be like the all-time world record. And and the funny story around that. So it's worth it just for that.
I bet he foul hooked it, would be my guess. Sometimes last year I took my wife is not much of a fisher person, but she's becoming one, and I was taking her for stripers at night.
Yeah,
kind of guiding her. And she hooked into something, and we thought it was a striper, and it ended up being a shad that she had false hooked on the side.
Yeah. Happens. Let's see. So I'm curious, what is your favorite time of the year to fish? If you only got to fish for 2 weeks, when would that be?
wow, that's a really good question.
Because I know my answer. I figured this one out, but you go ahead.
Let's hear yours first, then I'll go. I think I know.
Well, for anadromous fish, it definitely would be October, last 2 weeks of October, because the steelhead, you can still hook them on hair wings and on floating lines,
Yeah.
and it's pretty phenomenal. For trout, it would be salmon fly hatch, which we get in kind of late May, early June, depending on the river. So really easy dry fly.
Yeah, I'll give two answers on two for trout and salmon in Maine. It's honestly, for me, it's a tie between spring and fall. Spring is better fishing, because we have, the runoff kind of is done, and May and June in Maine can be phenomenal for all trout streamer fishing. I'm a streamer guy. I love to tie streamers.
Nice.
So that is a great time. And also September, October, and November for trout, because they're on the spawn and, in places where it's legal, can be just phenomenal. In Maine, we have all this foliage, and we get these incredible leaves. So doing a float in October and catching a native brook trout and seeing the air around you is pretty cool. So there's the trout section. And then, for the migratory fish and the stripers chasing bait, it would have to be that space of time, kind of right after Mother's Day in May, kind of until like middle of June. Oh my gosh, it's just the coolest thing in the world when you can go and catch a couple shad, and then all of a sudden stripers start busting bait down the river. That's pretty exciting time. Yeah.
And are you boys throwing spay rods out there? Or are you still throwing single hands?
So it's funny you should say that. I have a friend who does throw a spay rod for stripers and for shad. I haven't gotten into it yet. I know I will someday. I have to take everything one step at a time, because if I do too many things, I get too obsessive. So I'm saving that for later. But
for sure,
people do, but not as much as they do in like Steelhead Alley,
Right. Yeah, I got you. That's cool. Well, talk to me a little bit about like the clients that you really like working with. Like who's your ideal client if you were going to just mint one?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question, being a young guide. I think if I was, 40 and I'd been guiding for 20 years, I would have a very different answer probably. But so far, I really love taking people who are not necessarily going out to catch a trophy fish or to just catch a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Because I could take you on the Kennebec and we could catch 50 smallmouth, and it would be great. It'd be fun. I like the people who want to experience Maine's beauty and see new places and enjoy being outside and being on the water. And I don't say that with any cop out of like, oh, if I take you, we might not catch fish. No, like we're probably going to catch fish, but it's about so much more than that, So yeah, people who understand that, I think, is cool. I also love Colby College is right down the road from us, and I've gotten to take a few students who whose parents want them to continue to fly fish while they're in college. And actually, I was just communicating with a dad and a son over there today, and being able to guide younger people, not that I'm that much older, and getting people in love with the sport is also really, really awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I think you and I share that. Definitely the experience is way more important than like you're saying, size or number of fish. Yeah. And then continuing to encourage
spiritual
people.
And for me, I don't think everybody feels that way. But for me, it's definitely a spiritual thing. No matter, what you believe, people have varying beliefs, obviously, and they everyone thinks something different, I think. But I was raised kind of in the church and experiencing beauty in that way. No matter what you believe, I truly think it brings you closer to creation and just an interconnectedness between kind of all of us, including the river itself and trees. And So, but that, but not everybody feels that way. I've fished with guys who are like, I don't give a rip about that. I just want to
Yep.
throw something on the end of my line, man. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
get that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. But you speak like a transcendentalist poet, so good for you.
I did study Thoreau quite a bit, so
Yeah, Thoreau and Whitman. Yeah, that was awesome. The opulent eyeball that sees the world. You gotta love
mhm.
that. Well, that's cool. Talk about some of the cool things that you've seen when you've been out, either just by yourself or with
Ooh.
clients or with your dad. What have you seen?
Oh yeah, so many memories to choose from. This kind of goes along. Before I share a couple, I'll say this. It goes along with I've had people ask me like, oh, like you caught that nice fish, or you caught all those fish. How'd you do it? What'd you use? And to experience cool things and to catch big fish is like you got to be on the water. You got to put time in, and
Yeah.
that's the secret. There is no secret fly. You just got to be out there. Yeah, the first thing that comes into my head is being in the same water as the sturgeon in the spring, like these 6, 7, 8 foot
Oh yeah.
that are
Yeah.
breaching. Last year I was
Giants.
wading, giants, and they're gentle giants for the most, they're not going to hurt you, but
Yeah.
if they landed in your boat, that would not be good. And I was waiting at a spot. I was so focused on casting. I think, I had seen probably a boil, and I was looking at this spot where a striper might be. I had like my 9 weight, and I looked down at my feet, and there was like a 7-foot sturgeon just inches from me, just making his way up the river. I was only up to my calves, but
Yeah.
I kind of went, geez, and I jumped back, and because it looks, they look like a shark when they're sitting there. And then, yeah, I could say so many. I counted 20 eagles one time on a river
Oh
here.
wow.
They were
Yeah.
all diving after various herring. I had a cormorant steal a trout one time. I was reeling it in, and that thing came up underneath and just ripped it. I was like,
Oh
dude.
wow.
So yeah, too many to choose from. But moose encounters in northern Maine. This past summer, I was fishing a really remote stream and catching just native brook trout one after another. And I'm not just saying that; like it was crazy. I was like, holy cow, what is happening? And I looked up, and there was a cow moose and her calf just staring at me.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, I could go on, but I won't.
No, that's cool. Yeah, when you just see animals in their wild habitat
Right.
not excited by you at all, just doing their thing. It's pretty phenomenal.
Right.
But what's a typical day like for you when you have a client? What does that look like? What's the run of show?
Yeah. So depending on the float or what we're doing, um, I'll have people probably give me their breakfast order the night before, so I can order like a breakfast sandwich if they want it. Some people don't. Some people don't like breakfast. And we'll meet up at 5 or 6 or 7, depending on where we're going. If it's somewhere up north, we got to meet earlier so that we can get up there. Sometimes we're driving an hour and a half. But yeah, we'll meet up.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the shuttle for, if a client has a car, we'll usually just do that. They'll leave their car at the takeout. We'll take my truck and the boat up. Yeah, put in, float, depending on what people want to do. If they're doing a half day, we won't eat lunch on the river. But if we're doing a full day, we'll bring a lunch, and we'll find it. I have some really good spots to pull off and do that and eat. And yeah, just enjoy the day. If we're doing a wade trip, I offer a couple really unique wade trips. One of them's at a waterfall. Then that just entails getting up there and kind of hiking into the spot. And yeah, it depends. But yeah, I try really hard to tailor to clients' desires. I definitely have trip descriptions, and I have things that I offer that I'm good at. But
Yeah.
if someone wants to come up and they, if you wanted to come and go to the Allagash for 3 days and fish, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's figure it out. I'm not opposed to it at all.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that is cool. Well, how what's the website you have right now?
Yeah. So it's my business is called Central Maine Fly Fishing and Adventures LLC.
Wow.
I tag the
mouthful.
and adventures in there because I've done a ton of canoe trips too. And, as you and I both know, some people fishing just is not their thing, and they don't want to
Yeah.
fish, but
Right.
they want to be on the water. So if people want to do that, I am happy to offer those things too. And the website is centralmaineflyfishadventures.com.
Cool. Yeah, I love people who like to just be on the water and aren't fishing.
Yeah.
They're not in the
More
way.
fish for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like I have, my grandparent in-laws, they love to photograph different things and birds and fish, and love to be out in the water, but they have zero desire in fishing at all. So
no.
I was like, hey guys, we can go, but we don't have to fish.
Now the reality is we want as many people as we can get out in the wilderness so that they care about keeping it protected, right?
Absolutely. It's a very, here in Maine, I didn't say this earlier, but being a guide in Maine is a very, it's steeped in a lot of tradition. And, people, you can look that up, Maine guiding tradition. But I think what you just said is part of that, getting people outside and appreciating what we have around us. And I'm guilty of being on my phone too much too, but, experiencing what there is. And I'll brag on Maine. And of course, if you haven't been to Maine and you want to come fish and you want to come explore, like, just do it. Whether it's with me or somebody else, just experience this beautiful state.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, you've tantalized me. The next time I have a trip to the East Coast, all the way, if I get into New York City or DC or something, I'm going to hit you up, and we'll get some time out there and see if I can.
Looking forward to it.
Hook a fish in a new state. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing, and it's cool to meet a young man who has similar ethics to what I have, and appreciate you carrying on the traditions and appreciating the wilderness and getting people out there and experiencing the magic that exists.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me, and to just listeners, thanks for listening, and appreciate it, Emanuel. We'll be in touch for sure. We gotta hook some fish together, I hope, someday.
Yeah, and if you ever get out here to the West Coast, we certainly have fishing all year round. So
I'm sure you do. We got 6 inches of snow last night, so I'm kind of.
Yeah, no, I'm getting ready to go turkey hunting, and I like to do the cast and blast for wild trout and wild turkey on the same day. So that's my goal on Saturday.
Don't even I'll fly out. Don't even tempt me. Yeah.
All right, Sawyer. Well, thanks so much. I'm really grateful for your time, and I hope you have a great season this year.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right, thanks. Well, it's good stuff. It's a reminder that even if it's not hunting and fishing, but it's just it's a chance to be on the river and go for a float or go camping. Get out there and do it. Get off your phone and get away from the screens. Take a nephew or a grandchild with you and get outside. It's Emanuel Rose, Nature Bound, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. My conversation with Sawyer, I sure did. If you're going to be out on the East Coast or out in Maine, then look up the Central Maine Fly Fishing and Adventures and get a day with Sawyer. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Nature Bound. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. If you found value in today's episode, please share with someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to purchase your copy of the 7 Principles of the Magic Rock at EmanuelRose.com or on Amazon. We thank you again for joining us today, and remember to get nature bound.